This is Dr. Biswajit, Professor in Marketing at KIIT School of Management, KIIT University, Bhubaneswar in India. I'm indeed privileged to work in this bristling, brilliant campus of KIIT University at Campus 7, which has been founded by Dr. Achyuta Samanta, the living legend of India. An atmosphere which is evergreen and pleasant for students to pursue their studies. So, on this note, I'd like to take up a topic which is of interest to me, and I'm quite enthusiastic and spirited to speak on the topic of eloquence in language for the art of speaking. So, when you think about eloquence, it is required for the art of speaking with power, prowess and pace for persuasion of the people to impact in them, and with the fluency, with the power of expression, with the words that we coin that will influence their decision making. So if you hark back to the past, to its origin, we see that France has been the source of the word where eloquence emerged. And going little into the Latin language, we get to see that eloquence has been spelled as eloquentia in the olden times. But when you thought of the times of Cicero, when they started, who is a leading leader and a reckoning personality in the times of antiquities, who has been acknowledged and symbolizes the embodiment of eloquence. In those times, people also practiced eloquence. And coming after that from Zeus, this ninth daughter of Zeus has been synonymous to what eloquence is. What is all we are thinking at this context is about the Greek mythology. So coming ahead of it, when you think about eloquence, I believe it is nothing but the power of expression, tinged with emotion, studied with meaning, trying to explain and express with self-conviction, based on which you try to create a striking impact on the listener. So what is important is to create an impact on the listener. Eloquentia or eloquence is the appropriation of words meaningfully crafted into the sentences that you speak and deliver meaningfully with the masses, central to what it is intended for. So what is important is the construction of the words. The way we construct sentences, coin them, put them into bits and create a garland of words. And then it will look like as if we are speaking from the lips where pearls are falling down, and people will pick them in their mind's eye and try to reciprocate in response. So this is very important that we try to reciprocate with their communication skill to make sure that the stimuli of the audience become spontaneous and they try to come up with their body language. And if that be the case, we can understand that we can rouse the body electric of the response and elicit the interest of the responders, the audience, the spectators, wherever it be, and we can attract them to what we are trying to offer by virtue of the eloquence that we are going to make. So Nuss theory of Richard Thaler and Gus Susten, the Nobel laureate of 2018, is intended for creating eliciting techniques to attract publics and influence their choice architecture to make sure that they get influenced with the decision. So this is very, very important. For making communication effective, what is important is to ensure that you speak a language which is studied with meaning, with the vocabulary that is required, with the kind of synonyms and antonyms that you need to speak on a context, making reflected with the context and with the message that you want to deliver reinforced meaningfully. So what is important is to juxtapose those words, those phrases that are required to create a magic impact in the audience. Because without those impacts, creating a diction, creating a syntax, it will never nudge their mindset to get into what you intend to offer them. So what is important is the mental filter of the spectator. What I intend to say is orchestrating words meaningfully, trying to throw those messages significantly into the listener is all the more important. Now when you come to see that there have been few orators who have a flair to speak, creating an impact, we understand that they have been using tricon as a means to impact. To relate to the tricons, I'd just like to reflect on three of the persons. One, that is Sikher of India, who uses yes we can. And similarly, if you relate to Martin Luther King the Jr., he says, I have a dream. And similarly, if you see to Barack Hussein Obama, the erstwhile president of US, he says, yes we can. So these tricons create an impact in the audience. Intermittently as they speak, they would address the audience with those of the tricons to create an impact. So this is what is important. But in the global arena, if you see to Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, or Benito Mussolini, Hitler, Churchill, and all those leaders who have created impact, they have a different veracity of speaking ability. They have been metallic in their expression, with a high decibel voice they used to address the audience. They have those of the languages which are created, which create impact and resound in the environment. So resounding impact comes only when they think about certain context which is desired of them, of the people to respond with a stimuli. What is important is that. But in the other genre of things, in the Indian context, if you see the leaders, starting from the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and Narendra Modi, the present Prime Minister, they have a different variance in speaking. They express themselves emotionally charged to captivate and hoodwink the emotion of the people. The Indian people are sentimental in their essence, and with those of the essence they want to captivate them. So that is very important. But in the times of the Second World War, if you see of Churchill and Mussolini, and the times during that of the period, or for that matter Roosevelt, or for that matter Hitler, the style of speaking was a little different, and they also created influence. Well, to orchestrate language, we need to be technically knowing as to what it is all about linguistics. When we study linguistics in the annals of English literature, or for that matter people those who master language, they get to know the essence of what it is. So for that matter, we have to study the rhetorics, we have to study stylistics, we have to study pragmatics, we have to study semiotics, we have to study all that what is important. Morphology, phonetics, sign languages, and psycholinguistics, philology. Why I am saying these of the aspects in linguistics make all the sentences meaningfully coined with words to create an impact. What impacts the listener is the words that are arrayed into a sentence. So when you speak of this, we think that words are important, symbols are important, body language is important. With the kind of a demeanor that the person puts on, that becomes essential for what we speak. So body language, postures, pitch, pace and variation is important. In the times of Renaissance, the leaders who have been born to influence people with their ideals have imbibed and inculcated in them the spirit to speak with all their exhilarations, with their all excitement, to influence people and make them ecstatic about the philosophy which they propounded. This subject have been very core, so if I have contributed something to the context of eloquence to understand into what quintessentially it is, I'll be grateful. Okay, with this, I'll conclude and come back to once again. Okay, thank you very much.